I moved into this apartment a month ago. It was nothing special, just a small, cheap place on the top floor of an old building. The kind of place where the pipes groan at night and the floors creak even when no one's walking on them. But it was home, or at least I thought it was. It started 2 weeks ago. I came home late one night, exhausted from work. I locked the door behind me, tossed my keys on the counter, and went straight to bed. But just as I was about to drift off, something felt wrong. The air in my room seemed heavier, like someone was standing near me, just out of sight. I turned over, trying to shake the feeling. That's when I noticed something impossible. My bedroom door was open. I was sure I had closed it before lying down, but now it was open just a crack wide enough for someone to be watching me from the darkness beyond. I sat up, my heart pounding. I reached for my phone and shined the flashlight toward the door. Nothing, just the hallway. With a shaky breath, I got up, shut the door firmly, and locked it. I even put a chair in front of it, just in case. Then, I went back to bed. The next morning, I woke up and the door was wide open again, and the chair, it was neatly pushed back under my desk. I told myself I must have done it in my sleep. Maybe I was more exhausted than I realized. I wanted to believe that, but then, things got worse. Asterisk, a few nights later, I was in bed, scrolling mindlessly on my phone, when I heard something. Soft dot, not the usual creaks of the old apartment. This was different. It was breathing, slow, deliberate. Not mine. I froze, barely daring to inhale. The sound wasn't coming from my door this time. It was coming from the wall behind my bed. My mind raced. There was nothing behind that wall, except the other apartment. Or at least, that's what I thought. But as I sat there, paralyzed, I realized something disturbing. The breathing wasn't just behind the wall, it was inside it. The next morning, I did something I had never done before. I knocked on the wall. It sounded hollow. That didn't make sense. This was an old apartment, brick walls, solid structure. There shouldn't be any hollow spaces. I knocked again, moving my hand along the wall. Then, I found it. A seam, a nearly invisible outline of a door, perfectly blended into the wall. My stomach turned. I had lived here for a month, and I had never noticed it before. I hesitated. Every part of me screamed, "Don't do it." But I did. I pressed against the hidden door, and with a low creak, it swung open. What I saw inside made my blood run cold. The room was small, barely big enough for a bed, and someone had lived there. The walls were covered in scratches, long, deep marks, as if someone had clawed at them desperately. In the center of the room was a mattress, stained and decayed, as if it had been rotting for years. But the worst part, there was a chain bolted to the floor. Someone had been kept here trapped, forgotten. I staggered back, bile rising in my throat. This wasn't right. This shouldn't be here then. I heard it, a whisper, not from the hidden room, from inside my bedroom, a voice, low and raspy, barely audible. "You shouldn't have opened it." I spun around, my chest tightening. The room was dim, but in the shadows by my closet, something moved. A shape, tall, too tall. It stepped forward, its limbs long, twisted, moving with an unnatural stiffness. Its face was wrong, like a person, but stretched. Its mouth hanging open in a silent scream. Its black, empty eyes locked onto me. My phone was in my hand. I didn't even remember grabbing it. I turned on the flashlight and it was gone. Just gone. The room was empty again. The air was still, but I knew I wasn't alone, because the hidden door, though, one I had just found, it was wide open again, and this time, there were footsteps inside it. Asterisk, I moved out the next morning. I packed everything I could and left without looking back. I don't know what I found in that apartment. I don't know who or what was in that hidden room, but sometimes, late at night, I still hear it. That slow, deliberate breathing, like it's still with me, like it followed me. And worst of all, some nights, when I wake up, my bedroom door is open again,